Hi, it's Vex, and today we have the staples of June 2023. That is right. These are our new staples we're adding into our giant pile. And if you've been following me for a while, the pile is pretty giant, probably over 400 some cards. These are our staples for June 2023. Let's go right into it right there. First card from March of the Machine Aftermath, first and only card. And people are going crazy over this. And yes, this is as good as it seems. One blue blue. I love that they added a second blue to make it a little harder to do because Cyclonic Rift is so easy with one blue. Instant. Return all non-creature, non-land permits to their owner's hand. That is right. So it kind of does what Cyclonic Rift does. People play a lot of non-permanents, treasures, tokens, non-creature tokens. You could just return it at end of turn, discard all their cards. Not as good as Cyclonic Rift because it does your stuff too, but you can always plan accordingly. It's like a board wipe that wipes your own board, but you know when you're going to do it. So that is our first staple from March of Machine Aftermath. That's the only staple we have. I know Nissa might become a staple. I don't think so. Nissa, that's the next good card. However, we still have good cards from March of the Machine, Etali, Primal Conqueror. And I actually like this better than the other Etali because it happens right away. This is essentially a 5-for-1 because it's 5 red, legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur, trample. When it ETBs, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card, a castable card. You may cast any number of spells from among non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. So essentially, you're doing Cascade 4X, and you get a 7/7, big trampling beat stick right away. The other Tali, sometimes you put Tali into the battlefield, it does cost 6. Then you have to attack, and then you get some lands. So it's not. I think it takes 2 attacks to make it the other Tali equivalent to this one, because usually you get some lands from people, and it doesn't really work out, and then Atali might not survive. But this is like comes into play, 4 spells on the stack, and boom, you're a big winner. So this is definitely a staple. Red deserves more staples. It's got the smallest stack out of everything. I think green has the biggest one. White has a lot. Blue has a lot. Black has a lot. But red is so small. Then, unfortunately, this is not a straight red card. I know you're going to write in the comments, Vex, this is a Gruul card. I'm like, yes, this is a Gruul card. It's a multicolored card. I know. I wish it wasn't a Gruul card in straight red. But unfortunately, it is because it's 9 green Phyrexian, transform Etali. Activate only as a sorcery. And I forgot about that the first time I did it, and somebody stopped me. So, yes, I thought you could attack, threaten the activation, and then activate it during combat, but you cannot. However, you can just activate it if you have extra mana floating around, which Gruul sometimes does. It becomes Etali Primal Sickness. Legendary creature Phyrexian Elder Dinosaur. I was about to say dragon. Dinosaur. Trample Indestructible. Whoops. This essentially has the same clause as Blightsteel Colossus. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters. So essentially, not full infect, but you deal 11, you could knock them out, give them 11 poison counters, and win. So it is a really good mana sink if you have your 10 mana or 9 plus Phyrexian. Next, we have a card that I've used many times in many creature type decks. Crib Swap. We had in my Knights deck, my Sidar Jabari deck. 2 white changeling. So this is every creature type. So this counts as casting a knight, counts as casting a goblin, counts as casting a mirror, and every creature type deck that needs something that casts that creature type, this Crib Swap does it because it's a tribal instant shapeshifter, and it just exiles target creature, even the indestructible kind like Etali's backside. Its controller makes a 1/1 shapeshifter creature token, shapeshifter creature token with changeling, and this is the creature token there, 1/1. This does help the opponent if they're playing like a vampires deck or something like that. This does make a vampire knight. So it does have its drawback, but the cool part, it does exile. It does help you out. So that is really nifty. And don't forget to have your token. It's always important to have the correct token. Next, we have more tokens. Skyclave Apparition. I love this card. I have this in my mono white deck, and I love putting it in a 2-color white deck, maybe 3-color base white deck. It's 1 white. When ETBs, exile 1 target non-land, non-token permanent you don't control with mana value 4 or less. So exile Rhystic Study, etc. like that. Then when it leaves the battlefield, the exile card's owner creates an XX blue illusion creature token, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. So essentially, it exiles it forever. So if you have, I have this next staple, Vedalken Archmage is making you draw lots of cards. I could just Skyclave Apparition it right there, exile it forever, and then if this dies, they get a 4/4 illusion token. So you have to kill the dude here. Yes, this also has a token too, the illusion token. I have a foily one because I don't have a non-foil actually. That's all I have. So foily it is, and I have a extended border, so you get the nice treatment for here. That is a staple there. It's very good removal, and I love the thing. These two clauses say exile. We know that every deck is a graveyard type deck, so exiling is extremely important. I know that means indestructible means very little because, you know, and these get around indestructible, so I think it's kind of funny. I think Magic has to make a super ward, super indestructible, where if it gets targeted for exile, it comes back, you know. They might do that next level indestructible. So the next several cards I have are artifact themed because I got this from my mirror deck, and I feel like these are cards I always put in an artifact themed decks. These two cards here, Vedalken Archmage that we were talking about earlier, 2 blue. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, draw a card. The funny part is the enchantresses have tons of effects like that. When you cast an enchantment, draw a card. They're cheaper because Sithis costs 2 mana, and they give you more benefits because Sithis gives you 1 life, and it's a 2/2, and it's a bigger creature. They rarely do this for artifacts because there's a lot of artifacts that cost 0. I don't think there's any enchantments that cost 0. So this is the only one that has the effect. I know Jora has that effect too, so I might get Jora and add to the staples pile, but usually artifacts are base blue and not base red-blue, so this is much more powerful, I believe, than Jora. Or I think Jora is more powerful. I think this is more diverse than Jora. So that is going into the staple pile. We have another card that was just reprinted in Jumpstart 2022. Shimmer Dragon, 4 blue, and I love this card, even over the Archmage because it's more powerful. Costs 6 mana for a 5/6 flyer. Very good on rate. As long as you control 4 or more artifacts, this is hexproof, hard to kill. Then you tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, you draw a card. So you just start tapping your treasures or your extra clues or tokens and draw a card. This came out, I think, the Eldraine, Throne of Eldraine set, and it was good, but they only had so much treasure and food. But now, like, everything creates an artifact token, and you just draw your whole deck with that. It's excellent. Speaking of artifacts, we have our artifact lands here. We had this in our Urtet deck, and when I do cycles, I love having all the cycles. I know green is not really an artifact color, but there's some artifact decks that will come up with green or commanders. So we're putting this in a staple pile because every time I do an artifact type themed deck, I always want to get the matching set of artifact lands. They are ETB tapped, indestructible, and add 2 colors, and it's an artifact land. Again, indestructible doesn't mean as much, but it does save you from Vandal Blasts and such like that. So it's still good, and can tap. You can tap these 2 artifacts right here and draw a card from Shimmer Dragon. Just having 4 of these makes it hexproof, so it's pretty darn good there. Those are our staples, and then I like to build multiple decks with the staple pile I have, and sometimes, you start running out of the mega staples, and this is a mega staple that deserves talking about. The mega staple is fetch lands. When I'm building multiple decks, I need fetch lands, and sometimes I just run out and I have to borrow some from other decks. But here, I'm going to put another set of fetch lands here into my staple pile. These are this, along with Triomes. I'm working on getting another set of Triomes and another set of Shock lands, which you'll probably see in another video next month or something. Getting Shock lands, Triomes, they work so great. They fix your mana so well. I don't always run fetch lands. Sometimes, on purpose, I just want to lower the power of the deck or just have more basic lands. But fetch lands are so important to mana bases now that I just put another set of staples, fetch lands, into my pile. Well, that's it for my staples section for June 2023. I'll see you back in July 2023. If you have any staples you think I should add to my pile, leave them in the comments below. I always want to hear from the viewers. What you think is powerful. These things are I think this is not super powerful, but generically good that fits in a lot of deck. Atali is really powerful. Unfortunately, it's Gruul. I want to know what the viewers think is very powerful and why I should consider playing, because sometimes Magic is pumping out so many new cards that it's hard to keep up with the cards that exist. Anyways, that's all for me today. If you enjoyed this video, give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. And as always, have a wonderful day.